In this world, there's only 15 people who have a net worth that exceeds $100 billion. Okay. And two of those people include Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. And they were both asked the same question. The question they were asked is, what is the most important thing for somebody to have in order to be successful? And funny enough, they both gave the same answer. They both answered with focus. Okay. And Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all the hyper successful people of the world, the commonality amongst all of them is that they all have laser-like focus. Okay. And so in today's video, I want to walk you through all the different methods, all the different things I tried, because trust me, I've tried every single method that every guru is teaching, every tactic in order to be able to focus. I want to show you what worked for me and what didn't work. And, I want you to take what you can out of it, get what you can out of this video, and hopefully apply it to your own situation. Before I actually dive into the specific tactics, I want to talk about something. And I want to talk about the dopamine baseline and what exactly it is. Okay? Because dopamine, it's, if you don't know what it is, you probably hear about all the gurus talk about it, but essentially it's a chemical in your brain. And it's the chemical that's the motivator behind, or no, it's a chemical that's behind different feelings like motivation, focus, impulses. It basically motivates a lot of our actions and why we do things. Okay. And so whenever you wake up, or before I even get into that, you have something called a dopamine baseline. Okay. And what this baseline determines is how easy it is for you to trigger your dopamine receptors. Okay. And every time you trigger your dopamine receptors, your baseline gets lower and lower. Okay. And the lower and lower your baseline is, the easier it is for your dopamine receptors to get triggered. Okay. And the lower your baseline is, the cheaper dopamine you're going to be getting every time you trigger your dopamine receptors, the more you're going to be getting those impulses to pick up your phone and to eat sugar. So you want to optimally keep your dopamine baseline as high as possible. Okay. And when is your dopamine baseline as high as possible? Well, it's when you wake up. Okay. And so when you wake up, your dopamine baseline is reset. Okay. And so I want you to keep that in mind, because that's basically, a huge underlying motivator of this video. And so first thing I want to talk about is that there's a bunch of different gurus teaching a bunch of different tactics, and there's no one size fits all. Okay. No one size fits all. Okay. And so let's say, for example, you have Hormozi. Okay. You have Iman. Okay. You have Tate. You have a bunch of gurus, right? And you have, let's say, Sam Ovens, right? If you know who Sam Ovens is, he's actually now the founder of Skool. Before, he used to run a coaching company, a course company called Consulting.com, and he had, one of the most infamous, most famous mindset courses in that program. And so, for example, let's say Hormozi, he just teaches get straight to work. Okay, you have Iman, who teaches meditation, monk mode, type of different stuff. You have Tate, who teaches discipline, just get straight to work. And you have Sam Ovens, who teaches, let's say, journaling, affirmations, and some other stuff. Okay, and if you watch this person, you're probably gonna do what they tell you. If you watch this person, you're gonna do what they tell you. Watch this person, you're gonna do what they tell you. And if you watch, you're gonna do whoever you watch. You're gonna do whatever the person you watch teaches you to do. Okay, the problem is you need to try everything and see what works the best for you. Okay, and so trust me, I've tried all of this. And the biggest thing that's had the biggest impact on me actually has nothing to do with what any of these people talked about. Okay. And so the thing that actually had the biggest impact on me was something called Skool. Okay. So if you're somebody who goes to school, so let's say school/work. Okay. I want you to understand something. While you're at school or while you're at work, you're constantly checking your phone, you're eating, you might even be like listening to music, you're joking around. So while you're at school or work, you're constantly triggering your dopamine receptors. Okay. And then you get home, let's say you chill at home for a bit. It's H for home. And let's say if you want to run a business, if you want to be successful, you work on your business, right? B for biz. And so the problem with this, and the main thing that I was encountering when I was doing this, is I would go to school, sometimes I'd even have practice, and then I get home. Not only was I tired, but my dopamine baseline was all the way lowered, okay? So I'd work my business, but it'd be extremely hard for me to focus. I'd be picking on my phone. I'd be, just all types of different stuff going on in my brain, because throughout the school day, I was already listening to music, doing this and that, and I was just constantly triggering my dopamine receptors, right? And so what happened was, it was increasingly difficult for me to focus on my business. Then something happened. I dropped out, okay? D for dropout. And then let's say D for dropout means I wake up and I get straight to work on the business. And what was the discovery I made? The discovery I made was one day of me waking up and just getting straight to work on the business is equivalent to a whole week of me going to school and working on my business at night. Okay, I get the same amount of work done in one day opposed to 1 week. Okay, why? Because when I wake up, my dopamine baseline is reset. I wouldn't pick up my phone. You gotta teach yourself not to pick up your phone, or not to don't even eat right away. Okay, wait until you have your first meal. That's just from my experience what worked with me. And you wake up, your dopamine baseline is reset, and you get straight to work. Okay, you're able to focus for a lot longer period of time. Okay, this is the clock, and yeah, you're able to focus for a lot longer period of time because your baseline is all the way at the top. Okay, opposed to if you're somebody who sees yourself in the future like you cannot work a job, you have a problem with authority, you just do not see yourself working in a job, then you probably need to have a real conversation with yourself and get the balls to drop out of whatever you're doing. And I would not recommend dropping out of high school. That's not what I did. I'm talking about college, by the way. Didn't definitely finish high school at least, but sometimes it's just the best to burn all the boats and just let yourself focus every single day purely on what you want to get done. Okay, and so that's the first thing I'd recommend. The first thing I'd recommend is just wake up and get straight to work. Okay, that's extremely important because the dopamine baseline is at the top and it's not all the way at the bottom. When you wake up and get straight to work, you're not going to have those crazy impulses of wanting to listen to music, wanting to eat food, wanting to check your phone. You're going to be able to focus for a lot longer period of time. Okay, and so the next thing I'd recommend, and this is something that I actually got from Hormozi, but I'd recommend you get this. Get straight to work. Okay, or as early as possible. Okay, basically just avoid as many dopamine triggering things as you can before you get to work. The second thing is remove all constraints. Okay, and what I mean by these are things that hold you back. Okay, and specifically these things include sugar, porn, social media, and video games. Just put VG. Okay. Basically, these are all things that literally kill your focus. And what I'd recommend is first month, remove one of these things, go 30 days without doing it. Let's say, for example, first month, I want to get rid of sugar. Don't eat sugar for 30 days. Next month, don't watch porn for 30 days. Next month, don't, delete social media for 30 days. And kill off each bad habit one by one, because if you try to, get rid of them all at once, you're not going to be able to handle that. So you want to be realistic and just remove all of them one by one. Okay. Second thing, so that's the second thing I recommend. And the last thing that truly let me focus and just, I don't know, this is more so a little tactical thing. It might not work for you, but this is kind of like the cherry on the top for me. It's essentially get one of these, okay? And if you can't see, it's like a stopwatch. And so I'm actually going to pull up the Google Sheet right now. Okay, so on my screen, I have a Google Sheet, okay? And the way, it might look a little confusing, but the way I've divided this Google Sheet, or I've split it up, is I've split it up into a marketing block and a building and learning block, okay? Because these are the two main focuses throughout the day that I focus on. And so each block, you see, is 2 hours. So, and each one of these white little cells, that's 30 minutes, okay? So what I do is I get the stopwatch, right? And I hit play, and so it's a 30-minute countdown. And so for those 30 minutes, I cannot do anything except just focus purely on my work, okay? And after those 30 minutes, I give myself a little 5-minute break, and then boom, back into it 30 minutes. And then another 5-minute break, 30 minutes, okay? And then another 5-minute break, and then another 30 minutes. And then from there, you can give yourself like a 20-minute break, or you can just go straight into the second block. But essentially, you work 30 minutes at a time, while giving yourself a 5-minute break in between, and you do this throughout the whole day, okay? And you can see, for me example, I split it up into a marketing and a building and learning block, but you can split it up into whatever you think works the best for you, okay? And another bonus of this is you can look back and see what you're spending most of your time on, okay? And you can see I've kind of tried out different designs and stuff, but you can see what you're spending most of your time on. And when you look at what you're spending most of your time on, then you can see what needs to get outsourced and what you need to hire people for, okay? Because if you see, let's say, for example, learning ads. Okay, I put learning ads. Okay, maybe I look at and I see I'm spending a lot of time learning ads, and I can just hire a media buyer to run ads for me. Okay, if you're spending your time on a lot of low leverage activities, you want to outsource that. Okay, stopwatch method. Okay, basically just track what you're doing. Okay, and what are the benefits of this? Easier to focus when timing yourself, and also see what needs to get outsourced. Okay. And so these are the main things that I found, the main three things that I found to work for me after testing literally everything. I tested morning routines. I've tested, meditation. I've tested just pure disciplining myself. And it's a little combination of everything. Okay. So I found, hey, morning routines aren't really for me. For me, I get up and get straight to work because that's where my dopamine baseline is the highest. And I'm not going to be tempted to focus. And I've just the most creative energy to get stuff done when I wake up and get straight to work. Okay. The second thing is to remove all constraints. Is before you can even get above water, before you can even get above surface level, which is like searching all these different methods of focusing and all these different tactics, you need to actually remove all the things that are holding you back. Okay, you need to first swim above surface level. Okay, because if you have these things right now in your life, you're drowning. Okay, and to remove sugar, remove porn, remove social media, remove video games if you want to optimize your mindset so you can focus as much as humanly possible. Okay. And then the third thing that I found is a little trick that I found that works for me, which is a stopwatch method. And, it's just, like I said, tracking 30 minutes at a time what you're doing, what you're spending your time on. Not only, I feel like, you're just consciously able to focus for a lot longer when you have a stopwatch, because for me what happens is I'm working and then I kind of get an urge to pick up my phone, but then I look at the stopwatch and I see, hey, I have 20 minutes left. Let's focus for these 20 minutes. Okay. And then also it's a nice little summary of everything that you spend your time on. So you can see what needs to get outsourced and if what you're spending your time on is making you money. Okay. But that's my guide to focus. And if you try these things out and you find that they work for you and they're useful, please let me know. If not, also let me know. Any feedback is appreciated. And like I said, I hope you got value out of this video, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.